Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel.
Hello. Nice to meet you all.
We haven't done one of these little coffee dates in a long time. As you can see, we both have our coffee. And we're just going to be talking about just our love overall for fashion and some of the things that we have observed while being here in Paris and the things that we love and would like to see more of in the industry. Introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin Nora Piedrahita. I am currently living in Paris. It's been almost 2 years. And I think it's important that we're doing this video because as two people that live in Paris, we have a unique perspective on the fashion world, given that this is the fashion capital of the world.
Yeah.
Brief introduction to me is I'm currently in grad school studying global communications and fashion, and I will be pursuing a second master's in the fall.
Really?
With my qualifications, I was able to go directly into master's year 2 at IFM. So I'll
No,
be studying.
you're lying. I
No, I'm
literally spoke to my
serious.
parents about how I think I want to do that.
I'm gonna study international fashion and luxury management
That's
at literally the best.
literally the same
Like-
degree that I was thinking of going for.
Because I think it's like the knowledge
It's
is
so
so
good.
valuable.
They
It's
also
like,
get so many opportunities with like industry
oh,
professionals.
100%. That's something that stood out to me actually in the interview because I found out that all the courses are like on a 9 to 6 schedule and every single assignment is a group project. So it's
And-
basically like you're put in the work cohort already, like you're already in the fashion career.
Exactly.
So it's like once you step out of IFM, you are ready to enter the world
That's
of
so
fashion.
great.
With my current internship at the communication agency Carla Otto, based in Paris, it's based in like 15 different countries and it kind of covers like beauty, lifestyle, fashion. But this is like the perfect internship for what I'm studying right now, global communications and fashion at the
Yeah.
American University of Paris. And I'm a creative strategy intern.
When I was looking into that master's program, I kind of, as I do with everything, went onto TikTok and tried to look for like girls who were already in it.
Probably saw the same people that I did. Did you see
Yeah.
that one blonde girl, Yulina?
Yes,
I watched
the
her
American
video.
one,
She made a video about the like
the whole process.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was a very scary process. I'm
Really?
not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah. I found out 2 weeks later. I was overthinking. I didn't think I was really gonna get in. And when I found out I got in, it was like midnight. I saw the email. It had been sitting in my inbox for 12 hours because it was supposed to come the next day. So I wasn't
Really?
anticipating. But I guess the answer was just sitting in my inbox for like almost a day. And I literally started crying. And I opened the window because I live in a duplex. So I opened the window to look at the Eiffel Tower to just like have a moment. It was 4 a.m. and it was randomly glistening. This never happens. So I was just like emotional, like what?
That
what?
really was a moment.
I'm just like, wow, they want me at this school.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And the percentage rate for acceptance last
It's
year was
low.
9%.
It's low.
Yeah.
Super proud of you. Oh, I should probably tell you, I met Caitlin, well, I call you Nora most of the
Yes,
time.
I love that actually. Why she calls me Nora? Because Caitlin is my first name, Nora is my middle name, but since I've been in France, I introduce myself as Nora. Caitlin is like my government name, but I like Nora because it is more like ambiguous in France. Like Caitlin is like an American magnet. I
Yeah.
like Nora because you don't really know like also I love
Oh,
my middle
where
name.
is she from?
I just love that middle name
What
too.
is her? What is she ethnically?
Like,
Nobody
no, exactly,
knows.
exactly.
I met Nora through my friend Faizan, our friend Faizan. I just was so engaged and like interested in like how bubbly you were and like how excitable you are, and I think she's also so grounded and like so humble, and I feel like that's the reason why you get all these opportunities because
my
like
gosh.
you put yourself out there and you're also so accepting of the things that come, and I think that's like really good.
That's a really good point because also like going back to our mutual friend Faison, I actually met him in our fashion history and geographies class in fall of 2023. I sat next to him one day in class and we just kind of sparked a conversation and became friends, and then I met his group of friends and like went from there. Like you said, you have to be open to like the teachings of your surroundings, open to what comes to you, and also it's like I feel like if you want a goal, if you have a goal, especially in the fashion world, you have to make the steps each day to get there. Like you
Yeah.
have to kind of live in accordance of what you want. I guess the months before I got this internship, I probably applied to like 40 different internships. I think I heard back from like 7.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I actually had an interview scheduled the week I had the interview for the internship I have now, and they canceled on me. And then this one worked out.
My first question, because I am one of these people, what is your recommendation with internships? Because for me, I am in my third year of my degree program, and I've been trying to like put my feelers out there, figure out what I'm doing, applying for internships here, there, everywhere. And I've kind of stopped recently because I feel like I'm in a slump because everything I apply for, almost no response, or I get like the no, which I've only gotten 2 rejections. Everything else I've applied for, it's just nobody responds.
No, yeah.
And it's like, it's a little bit frustrating. But what is your recommendation, specifically in a city like Paris, where there's actually so many people who are here for the same reason that you are? What do you recommend to do to get yourself an internship?
So first of all, if you would like a fashion internship in Paris, it is so important that you position yourself in the domain that you want. So basically, like I have a personal portfolio website, and I genuinely do not think I would have had the opportunities that I had if I had not made this website. Things that make you stand out from the norm is very important. Like first of all, the website that I have features my creative identity. It features that I love creative direction, I like styling. It features the videography and the journal articles or the just articles I've written in my previous internships. Having a portfolio is really important. Second, I think as kind of frustrating it might be to hear all these no's, because also I applied to like 40 internships on the Caring website and I heard no from every single one of them.
Wow.
Every single one was like, we regret to inform you. It's always we regret to inform you.
It's horrible. It's
like,
really hard and
it's
difficult,
so
and
hard.
it kills your spirit.
It does a little bit. If you're more interested in creative direction, styling, fashion management, retail, whatever it may be, make sure that you have a personal portfolio that showcases your highlights and why you would be a valuable member of a team. Because
Okay, sorry to disturb.
No
How do
worries.
you get highlights? What are your highlights?
I think, like you mentioned, that I put myself out there. Like I'm interested in creative direction and styling. So because of this interest, I followed certain accounts like Assistants in Paris, where you find out like different like avenues or like opportunities you can do. I literally participated in random photo shoots just to be able to have the photos to feature on my website that I had a part of like the styling.
Yeah.
So basically, whatever I'm interested, whatever avenue that calls to me, I position myself and I put myself in those scenarios where I can flourish and kind of show my interests. So like with creative direction, I utilized a class project that I had to basically take photos of my friends and put them on my website. So like things like that, I kind of intertwine my interests with what I want to showcase for myself. Another thing that I actually have to attribute to like just my fashion experience, I wanted to express that I'm grateful for you actually,
gosh.
because like during Fashion Week, I don't think I've ever experienced Fashion Week like I did with you, because I think like just her having the dedication and wanting to just be there in the scene, that just showcases that someone is genuinely passionate about fashion. And I think when I went to Fashion Week with you to all these different events and kind of experience what it's like,
Yeah.
it kind of made me feel as if like this is the world I want to be in. It was so interesting, and I feel like thanks to her, she kind of introduced me to like a new
Environment.
yeah.
And we
because
got to
I
meet
wouldn't
so
have
many
gone.
people.
What are the steps I can take each day to get myself closer to that?
Yeah.
And like attending fashion events is one of those things. Meeting random people involved in fashion and just sparking a conversation. Like things like that. Putting yourself out there.
Agreed. Very good advice. Since you are now working somewhat in the industry, you have this internship, what do you think are good examples of inclusivity in the industry?
It is a fundamental part of fashion. I feel like now it's getting more expressed and shown. But I think like one example that I noticed in Fashion Week Milan, actually, it was the Prada show, and they did a show and the theme was called Natural Women. And if you saw the show, you see all the women, none of their hair was done. The silhouettes were kind of messy. Like they just didn't look as put together as you typically would expect from a
Yeah.
supermodel. And I think like little things like that kind of express senses of inclusivity, because it's like women are just as beautiful if they're not as pampered as you expect them to be on the runway. And I think like inclusivity can be within race, any kind of domain. It's not just race.
It's not just gender. For me recently in the industry, that I think I've been getting a little bit frustrated, but also like a little bit proud in some areas and frustrated in others, is that I feel like the more we get inclusive in the fashion world, in some places, and not even just in fashion, I feel like I've always said I love fashion because I feel like it reflects the society that we live in. With where we are currently in the fashion world, the more we get inclusive in some areas, the less we are in others. Like I realize that on runways, you will see more like older people with like gray hair and so on and so forth, which is amazing and always should have been like that. But then there'll be less body inclusivity. Specifically recently, like the body inclusivity has really gone down.
100%.
And then you'll see like you'll see like more variety of race, but then you know what I mean? It's like the more one area grows, another has to shrink, and I don't understand why sometimes it's not that. If we're going to be intentional about being inclusive, let's do it everywhere. And I feel like also this is this might sound crazy. Inclusivity isn't as difficult as people make it seem.
I don't think it is. It's so interesting actually because I think in terms of runway and supermodels, we see a lot of diversity in terms of race on the runway. But that's not to say that in terms of size, we don't see a lot of inclusivity. And I think that fault lies a lot with the brands because I think a lot of the creative directors or people that are behind the like selection when it comes to their models, I genuinely think this stems from like a fear of compromising their exclusivity. I think it is. I think like brands, maybe they don't want to be inclusive. Like I think a lot of brands are like very prestigious brands, I would say. I genuinely don't think inclusivity is at the core of their brand. I think a lot of brands will not say that they're scared to compromise the exclusivity. I don't think that will ever be said, but I think it is true.
I feel like the only brand that's really honest about how uncompromising they are with exclusivity is Hermes.
Really?
Yeah, they're the only one. I mean, I recently saw an interview, like the CEO or something. He was being interviewed on the news because they were like, why do you only release, I don't know if this is the actual amount she said, but like releasing 50 bags a year is crazy. And then he was like, but we don't care. Like, that's what we do. And that's how it is. Like, and then those who can get it will get it. They're the only brand who I think is honest about how exclusive they want their product to be. The rest kind of pretend. And I would prefer the honesty because I
just
feel
don't
like
think I think like brands I just don't like how people prefer like not speaking out and just like being kind of sly about things because I wish more brands would be open like this.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not only like the fear of saying something, but it is the fear of like losing their audience.
And the truth is, their audience for the most part, because let's think about it. Who buys luxury goods? It's a lot of, there are young people in it, but there's a lot of older people. Like it's people above 40, right? And then when you think about the fact that people above 40 are the people who are buying into it now, but that will change, right? Because the younger demographic will get older.
Like we will be the older demographic
exactly.
one day.
And if you don't buy into the things in which we buy into, we won't care. Like you're seeing Gen Z leaning more towards not buying extreme luxury.
It's true.
Because of like, oh, it's not sustainable, or it doesn't reflect my ideologies, or you know what I mean. And like they're sticking to like more niche luxury brands, like brands that aren't like these big runway brands. They're like still high fashion brands, but they're more niche and maybe a little bit cheaper and more accessible. And you see like people leaning more towards that than the high fashion.
I agree. I think it's also like if you're passionate about a brand and you really enjoy a brand, the people I work with, for example, like they've expressed that the only way they can buy luxury fashion is if they can purchase from sample sales, which is like very valid for someone like my age. Like, there's no way I can spend like $1,000 on a shirt. Like that is just not
wild.
Like that is just not possible. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. But that's also crazy that she was able to pull out. It started raining outside, so we had to move inside.
Little relocation.
I'm sorry that the lighting is no longer as exciting, but anyway. As I said, I was speaking about like Gen Z consumers and what they care about. I feel like a very big thing that Gen Z consumers care about is sustainability.